It's the Score North Twin Show. Baseball.
Here he is, Coach Trev on a Trevor Plouffe Tuesday from John Boy Media. He's here in the flesh in Minneapolis in the old Target Field stomping grounds. And look at you. Got your new Twin City Connect jersey on here. I feel like people freak out about jerseys, especially old boomer baseball fans. I love the new uniforms. I'm just going to throw it out there. I love the blue pants too. Fight me. Anybody.
Okay. I'm not fighting anybody. I like him too.
I'm fine with him.
It's interesting because I think everyone, it's just probably one of the most difficult things to land that we've seen lately. You know, these City Connects are so polarizing. So you're going to get like, you know, some people love them, some people hate them, and most people are like, yeah, they're cool. These ones, because I know about the process that went into them, I kind of like know who designed them. Like, I think I'm a little bit biased in them, but then I got one, and obviously I'm wearing it right now, and I'm a texture guy. Like my fashion, like what I like in fashion is texture. So I like corduroys. I like things that feel different. So this, you can feel the ripples in it, and I think that was the biggest takeaway. I was like, this is cool. I like this. It really does. It feels like a ripple in a lake.
Wow.
How about that?
Wouldn't that be kind of, I feel like that might be irritating on the skin though, right? It's like, so
it's a soft. Have you ever been in a lake, bro?
It's
a soft ripple. Come on.
It eases you to sleep. You might take a nap at third base, but yeah, it's a nice little thing.
Sounds dangerous.
The thing with that though is too, I believe that the plan is for the Twins to wear these now on Friday home games and Saturdays at times. Like, we freak out about things that it's not like they've changed. It's one thing if they're like, this is our new primary home and road, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
And look, the Twins have done much worse. Do you guys recall? So before when you were playing for the team, Coach Trev, they introduced those red tops, but there were red tops in the 90s that literally looked like the team was sponsored by Dairy Queen.
Didn't they have sleeveless at one point too back in
like
the early
and they wore them like twice.
Everyone hates the sleeveless. I never had a sleeveless, so I guess I can't really chime in on it, but everyone hates the sleeves. I did, Judd, to your point, hate the red jerseys. I hated like when we introduced like that weird gold into our colorway. Yeah, I didn't like it. It just like the striping on it was weird. So these are cool though. Like, I could wear this. This is how I feel about it. It's for the players. You're gonna see on the field. It's gonna look good on the field. But really, it's to sell jerseys and to like get people, kind of like hyped up. Like, I could wear this, and like it looks cool. Like, I can make this look cool. I'm gonna do a little photo shoot at the field today. I think just me. Like, I'm not like getting anybody there to like take my photo, but like.
Wait, is this gonna be like Gabe Kapler's Instagram type photo shoot,
yeah, exactly.
or what are we talking?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, that's my inspiration for life. Basically, is I asked myself, what would Gabe Kapler do in this situation?
Yeah, friend of the show, by the way. Before he took that, what was his first manager job? No, he took the front office job with the Dodgers or something.
Yeah, front office.
But he would randomly, we just like connected with him, and he came on our old radio show like 3 times, and it was about like his Cap lifestyle blog. And so part of it would be baseball, but then we'd like ask him questions about fitness and nutrition and whatever. I don't know. Anyways, follow Gabe Kapler on Instagram if you guys are.
I think he's TikTok now. I think he's moved on.
Okay, he's TikTok guy.
Yeah.
Trev, we caught up with Paddock at the end of the start yesterday, and by the way, he said he has custom stirrups on the way for the new City Connect jerseys. He said there's some custom stirrups. If it wasn't for the rotation getting pushed back a day, we actually probably would have saw those on Saturday because Paddock would have been lined up to start Saturday, but now Louis going to start today. But I love when a guy in Chris Paddock, I don't know if you've noticed or if you chatted with him about this, Chris Paddock will refer to himself in the third person, which I think is fascinating. It's just hilarious how he talks about it. And he made a slight tweak from Cole Sands in his mechanics, and that's why we saw him pumping near 98 with the fastball yesterday. It was the hardest pitch he has thrown all season by far. And even though there's been like some peaks and valleys with him, I mean, if he found a tweak and now he's pumping up more fastballs, like that's only good news, I think, for him and the rest of the rotation.
If he's throwing 98 and talking in the third person, I mean, I don't know how you don't make a playoff run.
Yeah, give me an example of him talking in third person, because I'll do that like as a joke. Like I'll get into character as Coach Trev, but like, is he? What
Sure.
do you mean? What does he do?
So he said at the end of his presser yesterday, he was talking about how they asked, like, hey, you gave up those first 2 singles in the first inning. There was runners at first and second, no out. Like, how did you stay calm to make sure you got out of that? And the Twins did get out of it. And he mentioned, he goes, well, last week I got real roughed up, but Chris Paddock wasn't going to let Chris Paddock go down again. Like, that's how he referred to himself. Like, he wasn't going to let himself spiral out of control, but he said his name twice. And I was like, oh, all right. He refers to himself in the third person.
Confidence. Yeah.
That's a starting pitcher for you right there. No, I mean, about Cole Sands, and I think that's cool. I think that happens probably more than we know about. Guys, especially, they sit on the plane next to each other. They're always, talking ball, whatever it is. But, guys in the cage will see something. And when you get something from a player, especially a guy that you respect and you kind of value their opinion, I mean, that almost goes further than hearing it from a coach. Like, if someone's willing to come up to you and say, hey, man, like, I see something, like, let's talk about it, whether it's, let's go look at some video or hear this mechanical thing. I think it weighs heavily. And yeah, we saw in a start in New York, he was, the fastball was there. Then yesterday, he had a couple pitches that were like, whoa, okay, is this who he really is? Because it seems like he can throw that hard. He's a big dude. Like, he's physically imposing. He's got enough strength to do that. And if he's found 98 and he's got the good off-speed stuff as well, I mean, I think the Twins welcome that. We also saw Simeon Woods Richardson in Pittsburgh throwing like 96, 97. So, like, I don't know if this is going to be like a team-wide thing. Let's pray collectively that the Twins have found 1-2 miles an hour on each starting pitcher, because that would help them a lot.
Hey, Trev, how do you attempt to explain, especially now being around this club for a prolonged period to do broadcasts, how do you explain the streakiness here? And I get it. You get the Yankees. They're just damn good. Okay. But then you go to Pittsburgh and get 2 really good starts and get blanked in back-to-back games. And just to go through, 7-13, 12-0, 5-3, 0-7, 9-3, 0-5. And now that they've won their past 2. Like, is there any identifying thing? Because, like, I get getting beat by the Yankees. I don't understand getting 2 great pitching performances in Pittsburgh and coming away with no runs and no wins in those first 2 games.
I mean, they face some pretty good pitching in those, Yankees and Pittsburgh series. Like, you can't just go and say, well, this is one thing. I mean, sometimes you just run into buzzsaws. The streakiness is hard to explain. I think I can only really speak to an offensive standpoint. I think what I've seen for the most part, when the Twins aren't scoring runs, it's a lack of adjustment. It's they're not. There are times where you need to, like, offensively, when you're not feeling good, you need to strip it all the way down and go to, the simplest approach, which, typically is, hey, let's drive the fastball the other way. Let's shorten everything up. Let's eliminate any excess movement. People hear me say that all the time, but that's just because that's what you have to do at this level, especially nowadays with guys. Guys, stuff is nasty. It's probably nastier than it's ever been. So you have to go back to the basics. Then once you get back there and you feel comfortable, driving the ball the other way, seeing the pitches deep, then you can start to say, okay, I'm here. And then you can get a little bit more aggressive, and then a little bit more aggressive. And then you can kind of get back to the quote unquote ace swings. But I think we've seen, whether it's philosophy driven, whether it's just people being stubborn or, not being coached it, like, you have to go back to that. You have to get back to basics when you're not feeling good. And you really haven't seen that. And then all of a sudden in Pittsburgh, they got a guy in that 10th inning who was all over the place. Like, he hit 3 people in the inning, was just completely wild. That almost makes you get like, okay, I need to, like, see this ball, because I can't be out there exposing myself and all of a sudden get hit in the face. Like, you're really tight in here. And you saw some pitches driven the other way. We saw that happen yesterday. Vasquez had a hit to the opposite field. Correa, I think, is really starting to do that. I noticed in New York, his hip was flying and it was gone. I think we not even talked about that, but he's made an adjustment. And last night he took an inside fastball, kept his hands inside of it, base hit up the middle. You even saw like a little tail. Like, I think they're starting to get back to that. And I don't know if that is them finally just saying, screw it. Like, we can't be this streaky. But even on the field yesterday in early batting practice, they were sitting and working on some sinkers, and there was guys doing that. And, they were hitting some balls. And, once you can do a lot of things in batting practice, right? They were hitting balls out of the park, but every single guy at the end was trying, they were shooting it. And they were even using the terminology that Maureen and I use on the broadcast. That's what they wanted to end on. And I think that's very important to be able to do that. And for a long time, I don't think they either wanted to do it or were being told to do it. I don't know.
Yeah. One guy that, whatever his approach is, it seems to be working, is Royce Lewis, who now has 21 home runs in 304 career major league plate appearances, an OPS of 944 in his first 300 career plate appearances. And if you take every hitter, we actually did this for a twin stat porn episode last week. If you take every hitter in the major leagues that's come to bat at least 300 times in the last 3 years, and you rank them based on weighted on base average, Aaron Judge is number 1, Yordan Alvarez is number 2, Royce Lewis is number 3, ahead of Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Juan Soto, and every other hitter in baseball.
Yes.
Is that sustainable? I mean, is this who he is?
I got to be careful here. I think he is an incredible player. And when you hear guys like Rod Carew say he's different, like who's seen a lot of baseball, and you see he's doing it on the field, I think he can be close to this. I think he can be a guy that the Twins don't have right now. If you take Royce Lewis out of the equation, they don't have like a legitimate, consistent offensive threat in the lineup. They don't. Like, they have a bunch of guys who are pretty good, but like they don't have that guy that's like plop in the middle of the order. He's going to be good, like a Yordan Alvarez, like a Judge. Like there are examples of those guys throughout the league, and the Twins haven't had that. Like, I think Carlos Correa is a great ball player, and I think he's a professional hitter, but he's not a middle of the order guy on a championship team, I don't think. Or at least, like, you have to surround him with more than that. He can't just be like your guy. I don't think that's like bringing him down whatsoever. And I think Ryan Jeffers, what he's done has been great, but I don't think he's like plop him in the middle, Yordan Alvarez type, like he's going to come through no matter what. I think he is part of a good team, and he's going to be one of the better hitters on the team. But like the Twins been missing a guy like Royce Lewis. So if he can be that guy, and I think he has the potential to do it, I'm just like a guy that likes to see it for longer before we really start putting him in those categories. Like, you can't, like, putting him in a Aaron Judge category, putting him in a Shohei Ohtani category and a Yordan category for me is tough, just because we haven't seen it long enough. Can he be that? Sure. Like, he has all the physical attributes to do it. He has that it factor. He's so confident, man. Like, you talk to him about hitting, and all he says, like, I'm just confident in myself. I'm like, yes, you are. Like, you have to have that as a hitter. So I don't even know if I answered the question. I think he can be that. I'm not willing to.
We need like 1,000 more plate appearances. Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, like,
if he does it, I don't even need that. If he goes through the rest of the season and is this type of hitter, I'll be willing to say that.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think I kind of teed you up to either say yes, unrealistic expectations, or no, hate on Royce Lewis and tell us why he's not one of the best. But yeah, like I think at the end of the day, if he stays healthy, just my own 2 cents, I think he can be perennially a top 10 player until he's out of his prime, including some glove work in the infield. I mean, look at some of the peripherals, man. Like, his strikeout rate is 21%, which is on the low side of a lot of the elite. I mean, his strikeout rate is far lower than Aaron Judge. It's lower than Shohei's. It's lower than Mike Trout's. Mike Trout actually strikes out a lot in his career. So he's like, just to start with, he's putting the ball in play a lot more than some of the other top hitters in baseball, and he's making good barreled contact. So just at its core, his process seems to be one, along with his confidence and just his status as a freak athlete, that would lead him to be a top 10 hitter perennially if he can stay on the field. So I'm drinking Kool-Aid, clearly.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'm okay with you putting him there. From what we've seen, the sample that we've seen, and just being around him, I think he has the potential to be that 100%. Yeah. Which is crazy to say, guys. That's like not like just like kind of like saying this in passing. Yeah, he could be a top 10 fucking player in the big leagues?
Yeah, it's wild.
When's the last time the Twins have had that?
I mean, Joe
Bill
in
Mauer
09,
in 2009, right?
Yeah.
Peak Morneau and peak Mauer.
When Morneau pre-concussion problems for a stretch there was, I mean, he won an MVP, was in the mix. I mean, it's like on Morneau, 2010 Justin Morneau was the best hitter in baseball for the first 3 months.
And then he got hurt. Yep.
I mean, he was the prime Albert Pujols was second to Justin Morneau in almost every category the first 3 months of 2010.
I remember the statistics because they were so freaking crazy. I think it was like 17 homers, 64 runs driven in before the All-Star break or something like that.
And
it was like 1,000 OPS. Like he had 1,000 OPS at the break, which is unheard of. Even like today, like back then too, but like unheard of type of statistics.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm thinking like who's the last, and I know I'm gonna mess this up. I'm sure there are guys, and I'm gonna miss. Like, so who's the last guy to win?
Summer of 2012, Plouffe.
Yeah, no, Silver Slugger. Just 1 month. A Silver Slugger. I know Willingham won one. Who's won one after that?
Nelson Cruz won one at
Nelson Cruz
in 19.
Nelson Cruz. Well, the 2019 team has some
but I mean,
wild...
top 10
so
players?
did Dozier, he must have won a Silver Slugger
for
2016.
Yes, he won one in 17. He actually didn't win one in 16 when he had the 42.
But the thing about Doge, and now here I'm going to come in and rip a guy who hit 40 home runs this season. But like, what would happen with him is he would be the third best hitter in baseball for 2.5 months, and then he would go and hit $140 for 2.5 months, and it was like these. And at the end of the year, 42 homers, 34 homers. But it wasn't like what Royce has done.
What were his OPSs? Do you have his OPSs up in that?
Yeah, Doge in 2016, 886 OPS, which is insane. And he was 13th in MVP because of when it came. Like the team was out of it, and then the next year he had an 856 OPS in 2017. That was a more competitive team. He had a Gold Glove that year too, but he never won a Silver Slugger.
Okay.
And you're talking top 10 players, though, right, Trev?
Yeah, top 10 players.
Like top 10 players in baseball. I mean,
it's Mauer 09 and Morney 2010 is probably cracking that list as well because he was very, very underrated at first base.
Altuve, I believe, was the second baseman.
Oh, right.
That won. He won the MVP the year that Dozier got votes, but that was your second baseman in the American League.
2017, he won MVP, right? Yeah.
Yep. And then 16, who was the other second baseman? Who would have had I guess Altuve again. Altuve had both years. He won the batting title. He third in MVP the year before that, 928 OPS.
But Royce is a different breed. Like Royce, the way that Royce, down to how he carries himself, is a different breed. Like there's just a legitimacy there. Mm-hmm.
I interviewed him yesterday in the dugout, and he goes, "Thank you, thank you." He sat down and said, "Thank you for this." I'm like, "What? Like, what do you mean? Why are you thanking me?"
Yeah, I know.
Thank you for letting me be in your presence.
I said, "Thank you for agreeing to be interviewed." And like that's like the kind of person he is, and it's not fake. Like it's just like how he was raised, and it's just that's his aura, man. That's what it is. And look, if you can get one of these guys and keep him on the field, I mean, sky's the limit for Royce Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm trying to think of other players that were. I mean, Miguel Sano had a couple spurts when he was healthy and in shape. Oh, I mean, 2019, everyone hit home runs. But yeah, I think this is. Hey, before we keep going here and maybe get to a dumb baseball question, if you want to go across town and watch the other professional baseball team, the St. Paul Saints. In fact, there's a bunch of familiar names in that lineup right now. Brooks Lee, Eddie Julian, Matt Wallner's been hot. So some former Twins, some future Twins, and some fun nights at CHS Field. And on June 20th, Thursday, June 20th, so 9 days away, you can register to win a pair of tickets to hang out, get a pregame meal with us, the Score North Twin Show crew. And one of us is going to throw out the first pitch at that Saints game on June 20th. Declan's the leader in the clubhouse. Yeah. I'm sort of stumping for Judd to fray his labrum on just cut it.
I told you guys before that. Cut it loose. This. Arm still sore.
There needs to be like a poll or something. You need to do an audience poll.
If you don't have to mention that.
Judd. You don't have to mention that. No, thanks a lot, Trev. Appreciate that.
Yes, let's do a poll. For
Thank
sure.
you.
So if you want to hang out with us on Thursday, June 20th, before and at the Saints game, you can register inside the Score North app. It's free to download the app. There's a listener rewards section in there. So check it out. We'd love to hang out with as many of you as possible. Also, our friends at EcoFun are helping to power this episode of the Score North Twin Show. EcoFun Motorsports, your summertime fun headquarters. They carry a full line of scooters, motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-sides, electric bikes, and as you see on your screen here, watercraft. In fact, that's Judd right there, taking his family around on the watercraft.
What, Stella the dog?
Look at it. There he is right there with his son. So if you want to stop by either of the EcoFun locations, there's one in Forest Lake, which is where the watercraft are, and the one in Burnsville as well. EcoFunMotorsports.com. EcoFunMotorsports.com.
Baseball.
Any other, before we get to dumb baseball questions, Dex, what else from the clubhouse do we need to throw at? Well, you guys met in person for the first time yesterday.
Yeah, we met. I didn't realize I was standing next to you, Trev, yesterday during Rocco, because also, like, usually Dustin and Mitch are really good at, like, hey, Rocco's ready. You know, we can leave the clubhouse, go to Rocco. Well, Mitch and Tommy Watkins and I and, like, 3 of the other reporters were just, like, talking about the City Connect jerseys, and then we realized, oh, there's no one else in here. Did they start Rocco? So then we had to, awkwardly, here comes 4 or 5 awkward writers and podcasters to come in. And then I looked to my right 6 minutes in and I'm like, oh, Trev is standing right next to me. I didn't even realize I'm standing next to Trevor Plouffe. So yes, we did meet.
No,
we were able to meet, which was good.
That's what's wrong with this younger generation, never taking accountability, right?
I know.
I mean, he's blaming other people.
Fault was it?
Head on a swivel.
What's funny is Dex is a young guy. He looks even younger in person. I was like, who is this? Is this like an intern at a high school newspaper?
Yeah.
What's he doing here?
I know.
You're good
It's
looking.
true.
You look young.
I appreciate it. No, and I've gracefully aged into these early 30s, Trev. So it's worked out pretty well for me. It's worked out well.
Okay.
Yeah, 31. How old did you think I legitimately was?
Dang. I mean, you do carry yourself as an older presence, but I would have said, I guess that's right. Upper 20s, early 30s. I mean, I'm turning 38 on Saturday, and I feel like I'm aging. In this last year, I felt like I've aged a lot more. Like I was doing all right for a while, and then all of a sudden, I look at myself
how you feel or how you look or both.
I think look, I feel great. But look, like like the grays are really coming. They've been in my beard a lot, but now
I was gonna say I can't see any grays yet.
Are you coloring or what's your?
I'm all natural.
Yeah.
I'm all natural.
Okay,
good for you.
I think that eventually I won't be all natural. I don't really care about the grays, but like I always feel like I'm getting a little thin up here. It's still there, but it's just a little thinner right here.
It's going backwards a little bit. Yeah, there's no question about it. That's what I've got. No, it starts to go backwards. It doesn't thin. Like you're fine, but it recedes.
No,
Trevor's the
I look
only
in the
person,
mirror at myself.
Yeah.
It's thin.
Trevor's the only person that can give Declan a run for his money with the flow, I feel like. Of all the Score North people and contributors.
And like I've told them this too, Trev. I'm like one of my legitimate fears, and it's not going to happen because I'm just willing it into existence, is balding. Like balding, like it scares me. It is a legitimate fear that I have. And luckily my mom and her brothers, the mom's hair genes, which is where your hair comes from, those are all good. No one's bald on that side. My father's side still worries me a little bit there. But on the clubhouse,
Flip this part right here.
yeah. On the clubhouse, so when post game clubhouse, when we were about to walk in, we actually got like stopped a little bit from PR because there was like an impromptu meeting with Pablo Lopez in the club, like a positive one, it was closed doors because they didn't want us to see, but a positive meeting with Pablo Lopez that he addressed the clubhouse, and then I think even Correa spoke, and then we were like ushered down below by the batting cage into the little press room for interviews. But there was some type of positive post-win speech yesterday from our guys Pablo and Correa, I think.
I know what it is, and I guess I can't tell. I didn't know I couldn't tell, but now you've kind of made it obvious that I can't say anything. And it's funny, as I walked into the clubhouse, and again, this isn't going to make sense, but I walked into the clubhouse, and there was something in Pablo's locker, and I was like, what the heck is that?
Oh,
and I
I
asked
saw
a couple
that
of the
too.
other guys, And they're like, I don't know what it is. And then I had heard before, it all connected. I know exactly what it is. It's actually really cool. It's something they're going to do after wins.
Okay.
So like,
I'm not in the. I wish I could say.
Is Declan making it more secretive than it needs to be? Do we think?
I don't know. I don't know why they'd want it secret. But I'm not in the position to like be the one to like spill the beans, I guess. Hopefully it comes out. It's great. It's nothing like crazy or stupid or it's fun.
Fun thing. Yeah.
Does this replace the sausage sort of theme? Like I know that was a home run thing, but Torrey got the dancing in 2000. Was that what?
15.
15. He went out and bought the lights and all that stuff, the smoke machines.
Yeah.
So is this sort of like a post-game Clubhouse thing?
Exactly. And I think I'll give just a little something. Think of it like as a game ball.
Oh, okay. So we're looking to highlight. This would make sense because Declan, you heard a couple of the Clubhouse leaders like Correa and Pablo and Paddock involved. And so it's Clubhouse leaders acknowledging players that performed well after a win would make some sense.
And there was, to Trev's point, like I saw Pablo's locker yesterday, like pregame. This is pregame, and there was like this big duffel, like almost like how you would carry a suit like onto an airplane or like from the dry cleaners. Like there was just this big, and I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, that's weird. Why is that in Pablo's locker?
It was just a sheet covering something, but I get what you're saying.
Okay, it was a sheet. Okay,
you totally you were blind going to that clubhouse.
I was
over whatever it was.
You were all around it, Declan, but you didn't like sniff it out. Like you were like here and then here.
Dex, this could be big for your reporting career if we can be the first here to nail this down publicly. Okay. I mean,
I can't be the guy. I can't I've already inserted myself into that clubhouse too much. Like I can't be that. I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought standing in the on deck circle with a bat weight was a little aggressive there in the 8th inning, Coach Trev. But
when I'm taking pictures on the field in my City Connect uniform today, I think they might just kick me off the broadcast.
I love this. You're just like, screw it. I'm going for it. I used to play for this team. I'm going to go on the field and take a bunch of pictures. I like this.
Trev's agent was on the phone with Derek Falvey today. Just a 1-week contract.
This is the thing, man. It's like, I want to give the guys their space because I remember what it's like to be a player and like guys in your clubhouse. Like get the heck out of there. And I respect the clubhouse. Like I'll usually just sit in Rocco in Hot Rod's office, the clubhouse manager. I'll sit there, and every once in a while I'll go back to the kitchen and talk to Chef Mac. Like, these are guys I have relationships with. But like I love baseball. Like I said this to Morney yesterday. I said I think I like baseball more now than I did when I was playing. Like, because I was always so like anxious and like scared of like failure and all these things. Like now I just get like I can't fail now, really. Like, so like I just get there and I enjoy the game of baseball. So like I always have my fucking glove, and I know people look at me like, what's this idiot doing with this glove? But like it's kind of just who I am, man. So like you want to get mad at me for who I am, whatever. It is what it is.
For you.
No, it's awesome because you get to experience, you love baseball lifestyle, and you get to immerse yourself in baseball lifestyle without the anxiety of trying to prolong a career or get better or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, I'm on the plane playing cards with the coaches. Like that part of the job is like probably my favorite. You know, I hate to travel. I hate being away from my family, I guess I should say. But it's afforded me being back and kind of like doing everything without like this crippling anxiety of having to perform on a nightly basis.
So when the kids are grown, do you or have you thought about coaching? Like once your kids are old enough? Okay.
I'm not a coach. I'm a coach in the youth aspect. It's such a hard job. Yeah, it's such a hard job, and you have to be absolutely 100% invested in it. And me knowing my personality, I couldn't get back there right now. It would have to be like way down the line, perfect situation. I want to be with my family more than anything. So
I feel like it'd also be hard, like as a major leaguer for a decade, wondering why can't these non-major league talents just see a ball out of a pitcher's hand like I could, or why don't they have the quick twitch reflexes to turn on a fastball?
Now,
I mean, be tough.
I will say, right now, I would love to go in and just give a few tips or like things like I see, but I can't. Like I know that would just be received very poorly. So there are guys that have, I've talked to Royce about some defensive stuff, but like very like I want to make sure I'm going through the right channels. I'll talk to Tony Diaz about it. I'll talk to whoever about it, and then get like the blessing to talk. But I won't like insert myself, unannounced and just it's just not the way to do things, I guess.
I mean, but putting on a full blue City Connect uniform with your John Boy Media hat and popping your glove and just
so
pulling some
hold
guys
on, I'm not
aside
going to wear the
for
John Boy hat on the
be
field.
hilarious.
This is all for the Twins, all for my boys that did this. I'm going to get the. You said I heard you before I got on. You got the white corduroy hat. I'm going to go get that as well. A lot of people were hitting me up on social media saying this hat's for you, and so I am going to go get that hat, and then I'll put that one on with this, and I'm going to do like a summertime vibe fit, which I think.
Heck yeah, a little vibe check. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it, man. So there he is, Coach Trevor Plouffe Tuesdays here on the Score North Twin Show. We'll be around Target Field the rest of the series here, and we'll do it again next Tuesday, sir. Good stuff.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right, boys.
Appreciate it, Trev.
See you guys. The Score North Twin Show. Click that subscribe button on the new YouTube channel, please.